We had a heck of a windstorm the other night. Blew down a lot of trees in Hawthorne. You can see where there's some snow in the mountains just south of town. Pretty. Here's a close-up of the trestle underneath it. Here's the top of the rails. What's left of them. We're right in the middle. Looking down over the side. It gets really rickety towards the end here. Personally, I wouldn't recommend walking on this like I'm doing, but I'm not going to take too many chances. Get off it right away. It's kind of a nippy morning. This is our second time up here to the Nivloc mine. The last time we didn't have much time to really poke around because there was a storm brewing that day, and we had another 7.5 miles to get back into town. Today we're going to go up there and look a little bit closer at the mine artifacts.
Well, look up there. It's got some really interesting looking rocks.
Yeah, get those big cliffs up in there. You know me, I'd love to go scurrying up there and check that out.
Oh, I'm sure you would love to climb to the top.
Some real rugged country, but it's beautiful. We had to come out here in the summer on a clear night and check out the stars.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
It's so remote, we're far away from any kind of light pollution.
Very true. Be a
Yes.
good place to stargaze.
See a comet and all these different things. I can see Orion's Belt from Hawthorne really well the other night.
Oh yeah, I can too.
Well, at least we're not riding 15 miles on our bicycle to get here this time.
It was way easier this time.
Yeah. So that's the foreman's house right there. I got the main head frame again. And of course now that trestle that tied in to the rail line, I believe was 17.5 miles away at Blair. That's the tracks are real close together, so they're actually for ore carts. So the tracks are there for the ore carts. You can see they're very close together spacing. But it's just amazing that this spot has not been vandalized or anything over the years, and it's must not be very much visited, which is a good thing because everything's fairly intact considering how long it's been.
It does feel very remote.
So where we parked our bicycles when we came up here last time in our other video, part 1. But I really felt we didn't do this site justice and show all the different artifacts. That's what we're doing today. We're also going to be hiking over to a nearby small lake, very small lake, about pond size, called Silver Lake. And it's a few miles from here. Less than a mile, I think, as the crow flies, but there's the head frame. You could go right up to the top. It looks like it's about 60 feet. Here's the top of the rails. What's left of them.
Douglas is walking out on here on this trestle. He's walked out on here a few times, but he's not going to go too far. He kind of feels that he might be maybe pushing his luck if he goes too far.
Kellie, it's actually It's easier just to go straight across because when you turn around there, I got dizzy when I turned around. Here's the base of the head shaft. You can say it says, unsafe mine, stay out, stay alive. That's kind of nerve-wracking going up there. Reminds me of going up to the top of the mast on the ship when I was in the Navy. I'm not sure, but I think that's about 60 feet. I think the antenna mast on the cruiser I was on was 100 and I think it was 120 feet. You can see where the ore carts came in and where they probably emptied out. It's too bad the original tracks for the train aren't here. We could really see what the layout was a little bit easier. Kinds of heavy steel parts. It doesn't look that high, but when you go walking across it, it'll definitely get your attention. It's a little bit rotty on this end over here, but I did walk all the way on that side. And I would not recommend that. But there it is, you can get an idea of the size of it. It's the last remaining wooden trellis in the state of Nevada. Is this right here. A little better look at it. I'm really not sure on the height of that. I would say at least 50 feet. I'm looking at that, and in my mind, I'm flipping over a tractor trailer truck and putting it end over end and measuring it in my mind. I think it's about 55, 60 feet, somewhere in there. There's the chute. Look at all the tops of these cans or barrels, Kelly. Yeah, they've got some kind of a writing on them. Whole pile of them. Well, we found out what these barrels are and all the tops to them that are lying everywhere. It's barrels of cyanide. As you can see, it says Aero brand cyanide, American Dynamo Company, made in Canada. That's a lot of cyanide they used.
Yes, it is.
There's the end. There it goes. You know, Kelly, I don't like taking any unnecessary chances, but unfortunately I had to walk across this several times to get the shots that we needed. And surprisingly, the more I've looked over this trestle, the more I feel it's really not as solid as it may appear. And let's get a close-up on that. See this piece of wood here, Kelly? The big crack and the knot right here?
Yep.
And it's really not that solid. I mean, it's together, it's not going anywhere, but it's not as solid as it looks. Even the main support here on the side, it's really, I mean, it's there, but I'm surprised. I don't think I will be walking across that again. It's really not that secure. I can shake the whole thing with my hands. There's some concrete bases that they poured on the supports. It's well constructed. It probably carried a lot of weight with the ore back in the day. Let's go look around the corner. There's some big round nails. Make this up here. There's the chute. There's looking up in there. I went walking on that. It's really, really rickety and rotted out. Somebody's old work gloves.
Yeah.
Really interesting mine site. Enjoying this. Interesting. You can see all these, looks like tailings of some type from the mining, what's left of it. So much to see in this area with the mining. A lot of historical sites, places. There's that big wash going into the valley. Kelly, I bet this gets some massive flash floods.
Yeah, I'm
Right
wondering if
about where
that's
those
what
rocks
caused
are.
all that.
Yeah. And look at all the tags. The
Oh yeah,
orange safety tags saying, you know, this is mine is closed, unsafe.
there's probably some
They're just
holes in
all
there.
over the different shafts.
Yeah.
We'll go look at a couple, but we won't go poking inside it. We're gonna observe the law for safety's sake. We want to see another day.
Yeah,
I've already took too many chances walking across that trestle.
I think so too.
Well, Kelly, the site is definitely strewn with all kinds of rubbish and old barrels and rusty metal and almost looks like some kind of a sluice box or something. Look, here's some of the equipment still one piece. A lot of different pipes going everywhere. There's just some of the tops of those cyanide cans. There's a whole bunch of them in that draw down a little bit farther. I saw them when came up here before on our bicycles. There's a bunch in that arroyo. Well, we know what they use to process the ore up here. Very quiet around here. Go take a look at that across there. That's the side that's really rickety. I walked on that the last time I was up here. Kelly, that old rusted out tank that's full of that mud, it's the same kind of mud that's farther down the hill that we saw
Yeah, I don't
with
know
all the
what.
pipes.
The mud is strange.
It's part of the processing, I'm sure, of the ore. And you can see all the tags for the different mine shafts that are scattered alongside the hillside. We're not going to go into there, of course, it's all fenced off, but you can see inside the shaft. I'll just stretch my arm over the side of the fence and see ladder going down in there. One of those. There's another one in the distance. There's that big pile of that same mud that's up here. There's another water tank. I'll run up to this one real quick, just to show everybody. I'm gonna lean over and put the camera near the hole. Go. So the little lake that we want to hike to is on the other side of that little mountain right there. We're gonna go up the road and come back down. It's close, but it's real steep from this area. I'm usually the one that likes to climb, but Kelly said she wanted to climb up this and take a look. Those are the Clayton Valley sand dunes in the distance. We might try to go down there at some point.
Doug, look at all these assay cups.
All right.
And then look down there.
Oh, on the side of the hill. That's amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that many. Each one of those was a test. I bet the assay office in Reno was making a lot of money off this mine. And then there's all those core samples inside the building over there also.
We are now headed over to the supervisor's home, and there's a lot of core samples in there, so we wanted to take a closer look at them.
This is where we ate our lunch in the previous video. In case you don't watch the first video, I'll show you where these core samples are piled up in these boxes. We've both never seen so many core samples like this. This is a core sample. They drill down into the earth and take a sample of the earth. This mine is a very deep mine. And they must have had these all nice and stored in shelves and everything. And as the building has fallen apart, they're just starting to deteriorate. Go by the porch and deck of the old foreman's house. Real quick little peek, as I know everyone's curious. More core samples in there. And a lot more in here also. That's underneath the house. I don't think I'll be going in there today. We're gonna head up the road a little ways. We actually want to go see how far we can go. The sign said it would go all the way to what, Dyer?
Yeah, that's what it said.
So it might tie into another little road, but now we could get to that Silver Lake Pond right over that hill, but it's way too steep. So we're gonna take the longer way where it's not as steep like that, but it's just on the other side. Let's go take a look at this interesting door in the side of the mountain. Well, they had it all fenced off and someone moved those fence posts and was disturbing it. Interesting. That's a heavy, heavy door. And I've noticed something also. If you look really closely, see the air vent? There's an air vent concreted inside of the side of the mountain, right there. Interesting. And there's the door. It is solid. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty thick steel. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Can't even budge that at all. It is solid shut. We're gonna get our exercise hiking into that little lake. That's for sure. There's our first trees. We had to stop just on the other side of this gate. The sign said no trespassing, authorized personnel only. So I'm thinking this is private property, probably owned by mine, claim. But we can see where the little lake is from up here. Right in that little valley. There's that little silver lake. It's about as big as a pond. You gotta remember, we're in some very dry, rugged desert. Looks like there's some type of a big predatory bird on top of that mountain peak. We're heading over to this little silver lake. I think it's about as big as a pond, but I can actually hear some running water. See where it's coming from. Oh, there it is. Let's go take a look. Water in the desert. Oh, there's some quail or chukar just flew off. I have a feeling all the animals come in here to get a drink. See a lot of sign of burros, wild burros. If I can sneak through here. I think they come in here on a regular basis. They've got the willows all chewed off. Oh, it's tiny, tiny. Look at that. It looks clear though. How precious is that? Oh, it's clean. It's a tiny little creek. It's clean water in it. Look, some moss in the desert. Not too far from the mine and not too far from Silver Lake is the remains of a little cabin, a little shack. And we were talking about, we thought maybe that it was a place where people, perhaps even some of the miners, could come on their time off during a hot summer afternoon, have a beer or something, do a little fishing or hang out at the cabin and go down to the lake. And you can also see the sand dunes from up here. The lake is just tucked in there. We're about halfway to it. You didn't take your little car down this. It's got a lot of rocks in it.
No.
Yeah. Look at those cliffs. And you can see where the water comes roaring down when we get a heavy rain, which is infrequent, but look how wide that is. That can get a lot of water through here in a short amount of time in a thunder shower. Springs in the desert. Right by this spring, on the other side of the road, is the place where they started to dig a mine on the side of the hill.
There's all kinds of little holes everywhere.
Uh-huh. Desert bighorn sheep. I'm thinking a cougar got it.
Could have. Doug seen it from the road. First he thought it was just horns, but whole body's attached to it.
I've got pretty good eyesight today, didn't I?
Yeah.
I spotted a bunch of different things. Usually you spot all these things.
Geez, look at that. From a distance, Doug saw the horn, and he thought it was just the horn, but it turns out the whole body's still attached to it.
Yeah. We don't think that it just decided to die under this tree. We're thinking maybe a cougar killed it and then was eating on it and drug it under this little juniper bush. But we saw an awesome longhorn bull, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It was amazing.
Live,
but we were in a box canyon. We came right up on that beautiful, beautiful longhorn bull out by himself. And we just held our own ground, but I didn't have my camera. I had my camera put away, so I didn't get a video of it. But at least we got some wildlife that was alive at one time. But that's a desert bighorn sheep right there. You can see the rugged area that it lives in. Really like this little lake. You can see where the water comes down the little creek. There's actually willows in the desert. This is desert. And there's the little lake. We got a couple of old burn barrels for trash. I'm sure this is a popular spot locally. I can see why. Nice cool water. Looks like there's some bulrushes or cattails in it. Bet there's a lot of frogs in this. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of cool looking
Yeah.
though.
It is water though.
It is.
Look at that. There's no water around here for miles.
Except for right here.
Yes. We think the burros come up in here at night. There's a lot of tracks. There's actually some ice. Pretty thick. Must have got cold up here last night. We're going along the dam. We've come to see that Silver Lake is more like Silver Pond. But keep in mind, this is a very, very arid region and area. So it's basically like a desert oasis. It appears to be man-made. Put in all this fill dirt on the dam. There it is. There's the original canyon. Reaching out into the desert. So that's the original water course. So this little canyon has always had water in it then, before they dammed it. Interesting. Can you imagine all the wildlife that depends on this water?
A lot.
Yes.
Does. An oasis in the desert.
This looks like where the dam spilled over and it eroded part of it. About a third of the dam is missing. Might have been that winter we had a couple winters ago that did that. Still hanging on. Desert oasis. What'd you say about the oasis?
I said this is where they got to come and be peaceful. All the animals, they can't fight and stuff. They got to come here and be peace.
Get their water.
Yep.
Kind of fun to find these out of the way places, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I enjoy that. Discovering something kind of cool.
There's big, beautiful Silver Lake. It appears to be about maybe 8 feet deep at the most. Can't say for sure without going out in there, but looks to be about 8 feet deep. You like this little lake?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it makes it neat is just it's surrounded by all this dry, rugged country and there's actually some standing water. Kelly's getting more and more adventurous. She's getting as bad as I am about climbing things.
Well, I wanted to see the top of this
Yeah.
pond so you could see it better.
There's a hawk soaring by the cliff. Surprised there's not any like migratory waterfowl or anything in here.
Could be, just not at the moment.
Yeah. Desert oasis. The water is surprisingly clear. It does have some aquatic vegetation about 4 to 5 feet under the surface. You could swim on it. But considering how warm it gets here in the summer, this is very clear water. We're above 6,000 feet, so it is a little bit cooler than down in that valley. Kelly, you're turning into a regular mountain goat. She's getting more comfortable around heights than she was about a year ago. Be careful. Well, one thing I sure like about this little pond out here is it's an oasis, desert oasis. You can see all the different tracks of the animals and everything that come out here, probably at night.
Uh-huh.
You know, but one thing that's kind of nice that reflects on the local community here is that there's no graffiti, there's
Oh,
no
no.
trash, everyone's
Nothing like that.
respecting it. That's really nice to see that.
Yeah.
It was Kellie's idea to follow a burro trail on the other side below the dam, and we were in this remote little rugged canyon with the sun shining, and it's actually a really nice little spot to have our lunch. That's what we're going to do. This is our amazing remote lunch spot. We'll have to thank the wild burros for finding it for us. We're using the little burro trail, and it's out of the wind and the sun. It's actually kind of pleasant for lunch, so we're gonna have our lunch over here in the sunshine. All right. Well, everybody, this is our lunch spot right in the canyon below Silver Lake in this rugged little patch. It's kind of small because we couldn't hike with too much stuff. That's what we have. Here comes Kellie in this canyon that goes from Silver Lake all the way down into the desert by the sand dunes. Look at this view, Kellie.
I'm going to come and look at it. It looks like a good stopping place, a place to turn around at.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh my goodness.
Goes all the way down to the sand dunes.
Yeah, it does.
About 2,000 feet. We were up in those mountains today, everybody. We're down in the desert having our dinner. I promised you a cookie clip last week, and I lost the videos on it, but we're gonna get one this week. Kellie's made something a little bit different. We're out here in the desert near the sand dunes, and what do we have today?
We have Scottish Abernathy biscuits.
Scottish Abernathy biscuits.
Right, they're help with digestion. They have caraway seed in.
Caraway seed in there.
But they're sweet like a cookie.
Right, amazing. Thank you, Kellie.